Hi everyone, welcome back to the Foreplay channel. It's Bella.
This is Jace. Before we get into today's video, make sure you leave this video a like, subscribe so you know if we post a video, and then if you guys have any comments or questions about this video, make sure to drop those down below. This video is going to be a little bit more concise. If you want a super in-depth review, make sure to listen to our podcast down here below. But let's go ahead and jump into it.
If you're planning on booking a lifestyle vacation or a lifestyle cruise, make sure to use our link. You can find it right here, foreplay.com/cruise. That's going to help us out a lot. It doesn't cost any extra for you, and you get to be part of the Foreplay squad. On Bliss Cruise November of 2022 this year, it was on the Celebrity Reflection. We'll have some footage of what the ship looks like, but if you're wanting a full tour of the specific ship, you can just YouTube it and look for Celebrity Reflection Tour. Every sailing is typically on a different ship, so just because it was on the Celebrity Reflection this year doesn't mean that it's going to be the same next year or in the upcoming years, but it could be.
So we will start off with demographic. The demographic was that of pretty much every lifestyle, cruise, vacation, things like that. The general age was probably around 40 to 55 was the biggest bulk. There was people in their 60s, people in their 30s, and some people in their late 20s that we met as well. So there is a lot of different ages, but that 40 to 55 is probably the biggest. Another thing to note with demographic on this cruise is that it is couples only. Now you can travel with a third female, but it is a couples only cruise, unlike some of the other ones that you can be single. We did find that most of the people on this cruise were lifestyle though, because it is marketed as a lifestyle cruise.
This cruise is completely clothing optional, and that's only on the specified area. So that's on the pool decks, in the playrooms, and in the hot tub area. So you can't just be clothing optional going to dinner and like walking around the entire ship, but in the certain areas you are. You do have to be 3 miles away from a port for the clothing optional aspect, so keep that in mind.
The size of this ship is around 3,000 passengers, so around 1,500 cabins. We like the size of the ship. It didn't feel too large where you kind of got lost, but also didn't feel too small where it felt crowded. So we thought it was a really good size.
How the ship was organized, we'll talk about the pools first. There were 2 main pools. It was separated by a bridge right in the middle, and there were 4 hot tubs all around the pools. There was also a solarium area that was covered and it was more temperature controlled, and in there was a big pool with 2 hot tubs on each side.
There was a lot of outdoor seating, but because there's so many people on the ship, it wasn't always the easiest to find a seat outdoors. You could usually find someone. People are so friendly that you could be like, hey, can I just sit my stuff with you? And people usually said yes, because people are so friendly. Now, if you went up one deck above the pool, there was a few more seats up there, but still it's one of those things where if you wanted to get like a better seat, you probably wanted to get out there a little bit early and put a towel down and kind of claim your spot.
I will say most of the people aren't really lounging on the chairs as much. We found that more people were in the pool area or dancing or conversating around the pool rather than staying in their seat. There were 3 different playrooms on this ship. There was one that was outside on the front of the ship on deck 15, and it was in the basketball court. This one was the one that wasn't used very much. It was kind of interesting because there wasn't any curtains or anything covering it. It was just completely out in the open. There were about 6 different beds there, but they didn't move the basketball, so it kind of just rolled around everywhere, and it was super windy out there. So that one was the one that was used the least. There was one inside on deck 4. This one was really nice. It was more private and it had a very sexy feel to it. There was about 20 or so beds in there, all covered by really sheer curtains that you could open and close. And then there was the playroom in the solarium area that we spoke about earlier that had the pool and the 2 hot tubs, and they had beds surrounding that area as well with the nice curtains.
And all of these had a little bit different hours. The one inside was open kind of more late at night into early in the AM, where the one on deck 15 was open from noon until 6 AM, so almost all the time. So there was a lot of different kind of options there for timing when everything was open. The other cool thing was the one on the inside, they did do where they had little meetups. So it's like maybe an all girls meetup or a bi meetup, things like that, where you could kind of go and possibly meet some play partners that were in a similar situation or something that you were looking for. And those meetups, they were 4 play sessions. So, you could go in there, meet some friends, and do whatever you want to do. The other area that they did have on the ship was the dungeon. This year the dungeon was a little bit different than last year. It was almost like an auditorium seating where there was a stage at front that had all the different sorts of toys, the crosses, everything that you would need. And then there was, I think they use it probably for a comedy club normally, and there was rows of seating up. And so you could kind of sit and watch. So last year it seemed like you were able to kind of go in and kind of acclimate yourself and maybe get a little bit more experience where you weren't on display as much. where this year it seemed like it was more of a show area in the front where you could watch. So it was still really, really cool, but we liked personally last year that had a little bit more where if you weren't as experienced, you didn't have to be quite on display as much.
One thing we didn't like that much about this ship was there was no promenade area. So last year there was a huge central area that a lot of people almost met up there. All of the pre-parties were there. There were a lot of different bars and clubs around this promenade area, so it was really easy to find everybody. On this ship, they did have it on deck 4, but it was way too busy. It was separated by, it was almost like a balcony area. So there wasn't a complete middle section that you could just go through and like walk and see everybody. We really liked on last year where you could just find a little spot in the promenade and then see everybody's outfits.
And this is no reflection of Bliss, it's just the ship that they were on this year didn't allow for that. But I did like when they had that area because I did feel like it was a really good area to kind of see where everyone's outfits were and kind of, I don't know, before the party starts, see everybody. So dancing wise, they had a little deck on deck 3 that was kind of small that people would go dance. This is almost like the pre-party, like where it would have been on the promenade last year. On deck 4, there was a Latin club, and a little bit earlier from I think around 10:30 or 11 to midnight-ish, a lot of people were dancing at the Latin club. And then on deck 14 at the Sky Lounge, that's where the main party was. That usually started around midnight-ish, and that's where everybody went to dance. This year, the dance floor was a little bit smaller, so it was a little bit crowded, but the whole outer kind of perimeter of the dance club area, there was a lot of seating, so if you wanted to kind of get out of that busyness and go talk and be a little bit more quiet, you could go towards the back of the room, and that was a really, really good option. And then the other cool thing was up on deck 15, they turned the teen club into another kind of dance club. That one also generally wasn't as busy. It did different music there, so they maybe had like an EDM night or a different kind of music night, and so you had 2 different little dance options that were walkable, like really, really close to each other. I will say that one wasn't near as busy. It kind of gave a vanilla club.
Vanilla cruise.
Yeah, on a cruise. But hey, it was so cool they had both options, so that was the other dance club that was available.
One thing we really liked was the glow party was outside on the pool deck, so they moved all of the outdoor seating, the pool lounge chairs out of the way, and it was so open and it felt so nice. You would think it would be really windy, but it really wasn't, and it was a really cool vibe. So we wish there were more parties outside. We feel like in the past there had been more parties outside rather than just one, but we really liked that one. It was our favorite. Theme nights are going to vary every single year. This year's themes were birthstone, anything but clothes, angel and demon fetish night, glow, rock and roll, black and white formal night. And this theme we don't like the name of, but it was pimps, hoes, and gigolos. We did not really like that theme. On this cruise, a lot of people really do go out on their outfits. We'd say on the cruises, it's way more than going to the resorts. People really get involved and they really go all out. Everybody looks so amazing, and you would think that you wouldn't need to bring that much luggage on a vacation like this, but it's when we see the most luggage. I mean, I think on average, most rooms had 3 big luggages, like check-in luggages.
Food-wise, everything was good. It wasn't like the most incredible food of all time. I feel like I've been on other celebrity ships that honestly had better food, but the food's so good. There's so many different options. I mean, they have, you know, your meats and your vegetables, and they do kind of different foods every single day too. They'll bring in maybe like sweet potato fries one day or this, and they have different stuff every day in the buffet. So the buffet is kind of an option that's there for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They have like different options as far as they have like Indian food, they have American food, they have Asian foods, they have tons of different foods all over the place. They have salads and fruits and vegetables and see all those kinds of things.
If you do have any food allergies, you can let them know and they will take care of that for you. They also had vegan options, so there definitely was a lot of options in general.
My favorite thing about it though is that at the little buffet area, they were open till 4 o'clock every morning except the last night, which was till 3 a.m. And that was so nice because whenever you were really tired and you've been partying all day, maybe you went to have some fun and you just were hungry, they had pizza and pasta and they had meats and usually French fries and all sorts of different foods like that later at night until 4 a.m. So that was amazing that they were open that late.
Also included complimentary was the formal dining room. This one, just keep in mind, it did take quite a while if you had a big group of people. We had friends who would go in with, 8 to 10 people, and it would take up to 3 hours. So just keep that in mind so you know how to plan the rest of your nights. They also had formal lunches in that dining room if you wanted to do a brunch on the sea days. And they also had different surcharge restaurants, such as a animation type fun restaurant, restaurant, they had steak, there was a French restaurant, there was a sushi restaurant. So there were lots of different options to choose if you didn't want to do the complimentary buffet or complimentary dining room. There were a ton of different bars. You could always find a place to get a drink. Bliss Cruise does not include the alcohol package, so if that is something that you are wanting, a beverage package, that is something that you will add on additionally, and you can only do that for everybody in the cabin. You can't just get one person and then share, so keep that in mind. Pro tip, find a bar that's not very busy and go there to get your drinks and then go back to the party. So usually in the casino area isn't that busy, and in the buffet area or in any place where you would get food, those places aren't very busy. You just go to the bars like in the club or on the outside areas on decks 3 and 4. Those ones were always pretty busy. You usually kind of had to wait a little bit.
Accommodations wise, it was very nice overall. Celebrity is just nice ships in general. And so there was a bunch of little areas that you can you sit around the pool. They had this cool area up on top where you could have, they had these little beanbag type seats almost and like a grass lawn. They played, well, it was a movie screen, but they only played the Red Bull channel all the time. I feel like if they would have played, movies or something that wasn't just the Red Bull channel, that would have been even better. But it was nice to go sit up there. There was some hammocks you kind of lay down, take a nap in. There was also a mini golf, or it wasn't even mini golf. It was actually just putting on normal grass, which is kind of interesting, but I never saw anyone play it except me and you one day. There was a bocce ball area, which was also, I never saw anyone use even once, but it was nice that they had a few little outdoor games. There's no slides on this ship. I think Celebrity is normally geared towards not kids, and so maybe that's why they have games like bocce ball and golf on here, but it was still cool to have something. There was another really cool area that had little digital table games, and so you could sit down in the little game room and there was little games you could play on the table, and me and you went in there like a few different days and played a couple games. So there was a bunch of cool little accommodation things that you could use that were fun.
The rooms we also thought were really nice. Again, it is a celebrity ship. We feel like celebrity ships are typically always usually pretty nice. They do vary. There's interior cabins and ocean views all the way up to suites. Moving on to staff. The staff was absolutely incredible. Any hospitality on a cruise ship we feel like is the most amazing treatment that we ever get on a vacation. They really go above and beyond to make you feel like VIP, make you have the best vacation. So the celebrity staff was absolutely incredible. And the Bliss staff was really amazing too. There were a lot of people on the Bliss staff we feel like, and they were always ready to answer any questions you had. They had areas that was like a help desk if you needed to go over there. The guest services for Celebrity itself was like really nice and really easy, and so nothing bad to say about the staff at all.
So activities / show wise, there was seminars. Some of the seminars cost money. You had to go to the front, you had to buy a ticket. Some of the seminars were free, but those were always an option. They were normally during the middle of the day. I feel like so much of the time we were sleeping still or out of the pool, and so we didn't go to any of the seminars, but some of our friends that went said that they were really nice. They also had a bunch of meet and greets. Now these are self-led, and so you're not gonna have someone at the front kind of organizing that. It feels like some of those meet and greets are very like hit and miss. Sometimes they're really busy, sometimes almost no one shows up, but they are cool because they have ones that are, a full swap one or a non-swinger one or just all different kinds. And then that way you can maybe find some people that are, even more like-minded than already the like-mindedness you'll find on the ship.
They did have age demographic ones, and we do wish that there was one that was like 35 and under, and then maybe 35 to 45, and then 45 and up, because they had one that was 45 and under, and then 45 and up. And so we feel like it was so vast of a variety there that it didn't quite make sense that way. But there also was a party games meetup that we really, really enjoyed. They did that almost every single night at about 9 o'clock, and it was so fun. It was a great icebreaker, and that one was our personal favorite meetup that we went to.
There was a couple shows they did specifically for Bliss. There was one that was a burlesque show that was really, really cool. There was also a show that was a comedian that they brought on, and a couple jokes were said. We weren't there for that one, but supposedly that didn't go over too well, but there was, a different comedian, and then they had some of the normal celebrity shows as well. And then the really cool one that we both liked a lot was there was a Queen tribute band that was really, really incredible. So they have a bunch of the celebrity shows and then a few shows they bring on as well.
They did have some pool activities during the pool parties during the day. This was put on by the different travel agencies, and so they weren't as good as if there were playmakers per se, like if Bliss Cruise itself had playmakers, but it was better than last year. We don't know if last year was because of COVID or what, but they did do a lot better of a job this year. They had a like, naked car wash. They did a bikini contest. They did like a jump rope contest that actually we're really sad that we didn't get to participate in because we really good at jump roping. It's a bunch of different little party games. The travel agencies were giving away different prizes, and so that was fun to watch. It was fun to see during the day. We do wish that they had the Quest game show or like that big scavenger hunt. We feel like on almost every vanilla cruise that we've been on, they always play that, and some of the other lifestyle cruises they do that, and we think it's one of the highlights of the entire cruise, and so we're a little sad that Bliss Cruise doesn't include that.
Excursion wise, it's pretty much just going to be the normal types of excursion you're going to see on a normal vanilla ship. I do believe they had one topless optional type of excursion that you could do, but I didn't meet anyone that went on it, so I can't really say how great or how not great that excursion was. Music-wise this year, I was super happy with the music. I thought they did a really good job. Last year was very EDM heavy, and this year I feel like they had more variety. They had more some of that pop and just dance music and R&B and reggaeton. They did a lot of different kinds of music this year, and there was some EDM mixed into it, but it wasn't full EDM. That's why we also like that they had the Deck 15 little club area, because they played some different music up there. So I said, maybe you're looking for EDM. They had it up there. And so we liked that they had the variety this year. So I was really, really happy with the music. And same goes for the pool. During the day, during the pool, they had a lot of really good music as well. So super happy with the music this year.
Miscellaneous stuff. This one we just didn't really know exactly where to put it, but they do offer a Wi-Fi package on the ship. Just know that the Wi-Fi on cruise ships in general isn't always the best Wi-Fi, and so it is pretty expensive to get, but keep that in mind. If this is something that you need, you have the option, but just don't expect it to be high speed or stream worthy or anything like that.
And they blocked some of the fun sites.
Yeah, like all the sites that we need to use. The vibe on Bliss Cruise is very party, but it's not as party vibe as Temptation Cruise. So we would say that it's more of a party vibe than Desire Resorts or any of the resorts that we've been to other than Temptation Resorts, because we feel like those ones are like very, very party. You go very, very hard. I don't know if I could do 7 nights on a Temptation Cruise, but we definitely can do 7 nights on a Bliss Cruise. We feel like there was enough time to relax. There was enough time to party. You had the options. We do wish that there were more activities during the kind of lull time from about 4 to dinner time. We just feel like there wasn't, we felt like we were trying to find things to do, and then we would just end up staying in our room or taking a nap, which is kind of good because then it gets you re-energized or charged up for the nighttime. But we do wish that there was a little bit more different activities to do. They had karaoke too that we actually didn't get to go see, but the way that the ship was set up, everything was kind of in different areas. It wasn't an organic flow where we feel like last year we felt like there were so many things to do because you would just walk down the promenade and it was almost like club hopping.
In conclusion, we absolutely love Bliss Cruise. We will continue to go every year. We're booked out through 2024, except April of next year, but we are going to do our first April one in 2024. So I said we absolutely love Bliss Cruise. We think they're an amazing trip. If you are even slightly considering going, I would definitely recommend going, even if you're not a ship person. I think that the boat is so big that, you know, you're able to hopefully not get too seasick and enjoy all the fun. But Bliss, yeah, overall is just amazing and could not more highly recommend Bliss Cruise.
If you are planning on going on Bliss Cruise, make sure to use our links and book through us. It helps us out a ton, doesn't cost you any extra, and you get to be part of the foreplay squad on the ship as long as we're gonna be there, so which we will be except for April of 2023. We do different activities, exclusive group activities. You can go to our website at foreplay.com/cruise and it's going to have all the information there.
Thank you guys so much for watching this videos. It hopefully helps you realize, hey, is Bliss the right cruise for you? But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like. It really helps us out. Subscribe so you never see me post a video. And then if you guys have any questions about this year's Bliss or any of the other cruises or anything, drop those down below so we can get to them, and we will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye!